Hello and welcome to Business Edition. This week, among the issues we'll be focusing on is the development of the insurance industry in the country. We'll also be featuring an interview with an entrepreneur. His name is Mustafa Sanali. He's involved in the designing business of clothes. And in Brand Talk today, we have the Fuso Tipper. Join me, Yvonne Msemembo, in Business Edition. So with me today to talk about the insurance industry is the General Manager of First Assurance Company, Marianne Mugo. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So when we're looking at the development of the insurance industry in the country since its liberation, 1996, it's almost 15 years ago now. How do you assess the market, the consumer trend when it comes to looking for insurance services?
Thanks, Yvonne. If you look back from since the time the insurance industry was liberalized, the number of insurance companies has grown from being one, that is the National Insurance Corporation, to now there are 27 insurance companies, which include one national insurance company. So of course that has given the customers a wider choice, because if a customer is not happy with one insurance company, there is always a choice. You can go to another insurance company. And of course, there being more players, it means more and more people are being reached to get insurance services. If you look at on an annual basis, the growth, the industry, the growth in gross premiums, it's been increasing by between 15 to 20% every year. So it means more and more people, more and more organizations are getting insured.
Okay, so looking at the First Assurance Company itself, it's a Kenyan company. You come over to Tanzania. What does it say about the environment in which you're operating in? Is it a very conducive environment? Is that what it means for you to be able to come over, to be attracted to invest in a country like Tanzania right now?
Yes, and yes, it is. And of course, with the integration of the East African community, it means more businesses are doing more and more organizations are doing business across the borders. So you find that a Tanzania company will have a branch in Kenya, Uganda, or Burundi. And you find that the more and more insurance companies are opening up branches in these East African countries so that they can be able to serve their clients who have operations across the region. And of course, also it means more increased business. You come and bring your experience from whichever country you've come from to give another choice to the Tanzanian population.
Okay, we're opening up the market because of this East African integration.
Mm-hmm.
What about the insurance companies though? Are they able to meet the demand right now? Is the market there?
Yes, the market is there. In terms of products, yes. In terms of
what about awareness though?
The awareness is low. If you look at the insurance penetration rate, you compare Tanzania's insurance penetration rate is below 1%. You compare that with a country like Kenya, which is 3%. South Africa, it's 15%. So you can see Tanzania is far behind compared to other countries. But also that gives an opportunity. It means very few people are currently insured. And therefore, if the insurance industry works together to educate the people, then it means more and more people, there's a chance to have more and more people taking up insurance services.
The awareness is still a problem, you're saying, but what about the products, the services that that are being offered to the people themselves? Is the variety increasing, or do you still have to work more on that?
Yes, it is, because if you look at maybe 5-10 years back, most motor policies were actually the traditional motor policies, which just covered the motor policy. But if you look at what now the insurance companies are doing, they are adding on more extra benefits to attract more and more customers. So you'll find the motor policy that has a personal accident benefit, has a loss of personal effects benefit. If the customer's car is involved in an accident, then there is what you call loss of use. That is when the vehicle is in the garage being repaired, then the customer can be able to is given a benefit of hiring another vehicle for a certain number of days. So those are benefits that are being added to their traditional products to make the products more appealing to the insuring public.
And when it comes to more innovative products, what's on the market right now?
In the recent past, there has been the introduction of travel insurance. More and more insurance companies are venturing into agriculture business. Previously there was no company giving insurance for agriculture products or livestock. More and more companies are actually now venturing into that. If you look at micro insurance, more and more insurance companies are actually gearing their products towards the micro insurance, which is insurance for the low income group in the population. So yes, I can say that the insurance players are actually becoming more and more innovative as time goes on.
And when you're talking about making sure that services reach more people, it seems that most of these services are available in the urban areas. When it comes to looking for the market out in the rural areas, this is still somewhere that's something that needs to be worked on. What is being done by the insurance companies right now to make sure that they reach out more than instead of concentrating in the urban areas?
In the urban areas, what insurance companies are doing is opening up more and more branches, and hoping that if you go to a place like Mwanza, then you have agents and brokers getting into Shinyanga and the surrounding areas. But of course, more need to be done, because even those companies that do have branches in towns like Arusha, Dodoma, Beira, basically their offices are still within the town. But I think the challenge is to ensure that yes, you have a branch, but how many people in the rural areas are you reaching? So there is need, of course, and I know there are some insurance companies that have actually recruited agents. For an agent, it is easier to go. An agent can take a week off and decide, I'm going to the rural areas and I'm going to market the products. So that's one of the ways that insurance companies are trying to reach the people in the rural areas. Of course, as an industry, we have an association, and one of the key things that we have decided we are doing this year is to ensure that we do public awareness programs, so that more and more people become aware about insurance products.
Are people really getting value for money when it comes to services that are provided by the insurance companies? For example, you said in the past, maybe somebody had insured a car, they had an accident, but being able to get the money to fix the car or get another car, it has been a problem for many. But is this something that is still happening, or do you think insurance companies are changing and making sure that the services are much more efficient, that they do meet the requirements of their clients?
I would say yes, insurance companies are actually now competing in terms of services, not only on prices. Previously, insurance companies were competing on prices, like a client says, I'm being charged 5%, so you say I'll give you 4%. But now clients also have realized that price is not the only determining factor on who your choice of insurance company is. You look at how long does it take for a claim to be settled, how long does an insurance company take to give authority for repairs to your vehicle. And so because now more and more people are becoming aware of their rights, and they are demanding those rights, insurance companies have no choice but to up their levels of service. And I can for sure tell you that these days a claim can be settled within a short time as 14 days. So I believe the insurance companies have actually done a lot of efforts towards ensuring that the insuring public get good service.
What are the challenges that insurance companies, maybe like yours, face when it comes to operating a business in a country like Tanzania?
One, of course, is that the country lacks a national policy on insurance. That is, there is no guideline in the country that dictates how insurance should be carried out. Then, of course, the other one I said is the low public awareness that most people do not, even not leave alone the people in the rural areas. If you did a survey on even people living in Dar es Salaam itself, people who own houses, and you ask them how many of them have insured their houses, very few, probably 2%, 5%. So lack of public awareness on the benefits of insurance. Then, of course, there is unhealthy competition and what we call data undercutting. Because, like I said, in the last 15 years, we've seen the growth of insurance companies from 1 to 27. So, and most of the insurance companies, like you said, are concentrated in the urban areas. So, they are serving the same people. So, what they do is compete on prices. Company A is giving you X%, I'll give you Y%. So that has led to in some instances, unhealthy competition. And of course, what does that mean? It means the premiums you are collecting is not enough to settle the claims that occur. And that's one of the reasons why maybe some insurance companies in the past have not been able to meet their obligations. Then, of course, there is the lack of insurance professionals, especially in some key areas like actuarial science. You find that the industry is still sourcing actuarial services from outside the country.
So maybe to be able to address these challenges, what do you think has to be done with immediate effect to make sure that the environment in which insurance companies operate in, it's within a legal framework, of course, but still they can operate in a manner that competition becomes fair, they themselves make profit, and of course the kind of services that we provided the customers are value for money.
The good thing is that as an insurance industry, we have an association, and we try to face these problems as a group, not as individuals.
But are you making headway?
Yes, we are.
Yes,
we are. When it comes to, like, for example, motor insurance, where most companies have been making losses for the last 5-7 years, members have the insurance companies have actually felt that there is need to standardize the motor rates so that whatever premiums you are charging is actually adequate to enable you meet your obligations. And of course, the other thing is that we have a very supportive regulator in terms of the Commissioner of Insurance. Whatever efforts that the Association of Tanzania Insurers is doing, he's supportive of it. If there is any lobbying to the government that the industry feels that the government can do to create a more enabling environment, he's always behind the association. So I can say with the regulator supporting the insurance industry, most of these challenges will be met. In terms of, like, for example, one of the challenges was the issue of claims servicing. In the commissioner's office, there's a department that deals with complaints. If a client is not happy with the services they have gotten from the insurance industry, then they go and lodge their complaint, and there is an officer from the commissioner's office that follows up with the insurance company to know why is the claim not being settled. So that is helping the mwananchi get confidence that if you're not being treated well by the insurance company, at least there's some fallback and there's somebody who will follow up for you.
What spurs on the insurance, will spur on the growth of the insurance sector in the country? Is it just more public awareness? Is it the economic climate itself? What, in your assessment or your views, think will contribute greatly to the insurance development in Tanzania?
one, like I said, if the government, and I know there are plans, there are plans underway to ensure that there's a national policy on insurance, and this now, for example, will help the insurance industry in sectors like oil and gas, because if probably you're not aware that most of the operations in the oil and gas, most of the insurance products are actually sourced out of Tanzania. So if there's a national policy that says any risk that is operating within Tanzania obtains insurance from the local insurance companies, then that will build capacity for the insurance company. Then, of course, there's something called bank assurance. Bank assurance is where you do bank saving through banks. So you use bank as a distribution channel for insurance services. Once this is developed, it's also between the regulator and the Bank of Tanzania. There are discussions, there are processes going on to ensure that bank assurance becomes operative. Then, of course, there is what we call microinsurance. Microinsurance is reaching the low-income group. And this is where now your question, how do you reach the people in the rural areas? There are a lot of efforts from the Ministry of Finance, the BOT, development partners, a lot of concerted efforts to ensure that microinsurance actually becomes a reality in Tanzania.
Thank you so much. That was Mary Ann Mugo, the General Manager of First Assurance Company. Welcome back to Business Edition, and with me right now is our Entrepreneur of the Week, as his name is Mustafa Hassan Ali. He is a designer. Mustafa, how did you start off in this designing business of clothes?
I consider myself as a creative entrepreneur, and designing is God's blessing, which a person has it or has not. And since time immemorial, I always had it, but I didn't know that I have that and I could nurture it. It just started as a hobby, when you are in high school and you are in university and you're trying to experiment, you don't know, so it's just that I always used to sketch, and behind, boarding classes, whatever it is called, free time. And I just wanted to have that one dress of mine turned into a dress, like a picture into a reality. And that's how it started. And in 1999, I was very lucky, God's blessing, that the dress I made for a contestant for Miss Tanzania ended up becoming the winner. So Miss Tanzania in 1999, Hoistem won her pageant.
In your dress?
She was wearing my dress.
When the issue of money, where does this come in now?
Fashion is business. Globally, fashion is a multi-million dollar business. And as long as they're women, because I deal with women, and they want something.
Women love clothes. They always
women. I always tell people, you open a cupboard and they say, "Oh, I don't have anything to wear." That's a statement which is there, and that statement you cannot avoid. Whichever strata of economic you are, a woman, I don't have anything. I don't know what to wear. And all she has to do, and she has probably 5-6 black dresses, and she and she was supposed to wear a black dress, and she still does not have a black dress. And what she'll do, she'll go and end up buying another black dress.
Okay, you become a global entrepreneur. You're not just based here in Tanzania, but you also design and do fashion shows outside Tanzania. But I'm still talking about the capital. You started off small. You're quite big now. How did you manage that?
At that time even, it was very difficult because I never had a capital. I don't come from a wealthy family, or I'm just a Kawaida person. I never knew what it was to have money, and I was never given anything on silver spoon. I didn't start my business in a typical way. Okay, I want to do this. To do my business, I need X amount of money. I have to do a business plan. I know all those things, which are, it's only later in my life I found that out that actually you need to do that. And now, before I embark on any other projects, I do numbers first, and I look at what is possible and is it feasible, all those things. For me, I was driven by one thing, and that was passion. And I was doing things that I was passionate about. So I think my biggest capital, A, was my human capital, which was my creativity. B, was my networking capital. C, was my passion, which was the most paramount of all those capital. And it was a very simple, until today when designers come, so how do I start? I don't have I tell everybody, if you want to create, if you want to do something, you'll do it. If you don't want, you create millions of excuses. I don't have money, I don't have this, and I tell everybody, look, your biggest evangelist, if you're blessed to have a mother or sister, yeah, is your mother and sister. And especially in Tanzania, because lazima mama ashone nguo ya kitchen party if she's going to. And at least there is 1 or 2 kitchen parties a woman, minimum. I think this is a worst number. In a month, some people go to at least minimum 1. They have to shonesha nguo. Why not their own daughter or their own sister, and you become an own evangelist? And I always tell people, simple, 50% in advance. If this person really believes in you, will give you the 50% in advance. That has covered your cost, your fabric cost. So you don't have, it's not a capital, fashion is not a capital intensive business to start with.
So what business tips are you going to give those entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs who'd like to venture into such a business like yours? What should they consider first?
First, what are they driven by? Is it money? Don't. I'm not saying fashion has no money, it has. But it's the amount of, sorry to say, work which goes into creating that perfect fit dress. You know, you can only be driven by passion. Yeah? And the money, the rewards are very good. Yeah? But you have to be driven. And it's, and then you have to understand, it's not about fame. It is not about it. You are as good as how much, you are as good as your work, number 1, and how much you sell. And number 3, you have to adapt and adapt. One day you are in, the other day, I don't believe of being out. I believe you're down, but then you come up again. So it's like your heartbeat. Our lives are like that. So is your fashion career, and it's very trend intensive and very. So you really need. It's more about brand. You know, people buy international brands. Why? You know, it's a simple leather wallet, but it has a Gucci stamp in it, and yes, they'll pay hundreds of dollars for it because it's the brand, it's the aesthetics of it. So you have to build that brand of yours, and you have to really put in extra hours, especially a startup entrepreneur, and you have to use as much as platforms as you can. One of the other things is everybody wants things on a silver plate. You know what I mean? You have to work for it. It does not come easy. Today you have to participate in global events, and that's how when I decided to not continue my medical career and pursue fashion, I knew that I'm going to make this as not only my bread and butter, but as a jam too. So I started looking outside Tanzania. You know, I'm sorry to say this, it's just now a little bit designers are being started to appreciate. It's like the way 15 years ago, nobody would care about Bongo flavor. Yeah, today it's a different world. So what it was for Bongo flavor then, 15 years ago, it's now for fashion design. Yeah? So it's just that now people are taking notice of that, and they're willing to pay the price. Now just imagine, I started all those years ago. So whenever you go, today I can proudly say that you go outside the country in the fashion industry, you're more appreciated and accepted. So you have to build your brand that way. And I strategically said, that if somebody thinks of Tanzania, you should think of Mustafa Hassan Ali. And that I was very successful in doing that, so that I've showcased in 17 countries, 26 cities globally.
Okay, so that was a fantastic story we heard from Mustafa Hassan Ali, a great success story. We learned his secret behind his success, maybe some of the challenges that he overcame to where he is right now. Thank you so much for taking part in this section of The Entrepreneur. Welcome back to Business Edition. In Brand Talk today, we're going to feature the Fuso under the company Mitsubishi. And to talk more about this, we have the General Manager of Diamond Motors Limited, Vikram Verna. So good news for all those in the construction industry, in the transportation, in logistics.
The group has been authorized distributors of the Mitsubishi range of products for over 3 decades now in Tanzania. In our product range, we have the Mitsubishi Fuso range of trucks and buses, in addition with the Mitsubishi Pajeros and the L200 pickups. The Mitsubishi trucks has very popular product in Tanzania. In the LCV range, we have the Mitsubishi Canters, which have been serving the country for the past 30 years now. A recent development, a very interesting development, has been that Mitsubishi Fuso Truck and Bus Corporation has been taken over by Daimler-Benz of Germany. So now what you have is Japanese technology coupled with German excellence. So these products, although still manufactured in Japan, and are also under the technical collaboration with Daimler-Benz of Germany. We have recently brought out this new range here in Tanzania under the collaboration of Daimler. These products range from 3.5 tons going up to a maximum of 31 tons. Very, very ideal for the transportation, logistics and distribution sectors, as well as construction here in Tanzania. These trucks are custom built for African conditions. And we are offering a very, very attractive package deals for our customers. For example, extended warranties, maintenance and service packages, financing options. You have obviously seen the truck from all around. This particular model is the 16.5 cubic meter FJ tipper with a carrying capacity of between 18 to 20 tons. Very, very ideal for the construction industry, and as we said, built specifically for African conditions. You have seen the ergonomical design. The key feature of these trucks is that they are built for maximum profitability and low cost of maintenance. Inside the cab, which has been built keeping in view driver comfort, are also indications which show that when do you need to shift gears in order to reach the economical zone, and if you are in terms of overspeeding or change of gears not in the economical zone, it gives you an indication here right in front of you on the instrument panel. All these features have been kept in mind and designed specifically keeping in view the needs of the African and Tanzanian market, which makes it the perfect option for this particular model for the construction industry here in Tanzania. This, coupled with the attractive offers which we have in terms of financing and also in terms of maintenance and service packages, make this probably the best alternative currently available for the markets here in Tanzania.
Well, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed yourselves, and red being the color of love, it being Valentine's Day on Friday 14th. I hope you enjoy yourselves on this Valentine's Day. Until next week, same time, my name is Yvonne Msenebo saying goodbye.